clock is ticking. Death is knocking. The dragon of chaos is chasing us with that clock, and it's got a piece of us. Time waits for no man, so being faced with our own mortality should create a sense of urgency in our lives to get it right, because our time is finite and opportunities are limited. If your goal is to hunt River Creek one time in your life, then prepare yourself for better luck next year rejection notices. For me and my party of 3, it took 11 years, and a lot of life goes by in 11 years. As a father, the last 11 have been the most meaningful of my life. I've watched my son go from a helpless baby to an extremely competent young man. It takes personal sacrifice and delayed gratification to draw this hunt. But in 2023, we finally heard the words we've been longing for: successful. We've got one chance to get this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right. Joining me on the hunt are my dad and the destroyer himself, Uncle Ben. The purpose of this video is to simply share our experiences on this coveted hunt and to give my thoughts on whether the 11-year sacrifice is worth the reward. 11 years, it's just a number, but on this occasion, that number weighs heavily. Alright, here's the status on day 1. I get a text from Ben. It's 7:08. Keep in mind, sunrise is 7 a.m. Bird down.
8 minutes.
8 minutes after sunrise, bird number 1 down. And then about 7:22, so 22 minutes after sunrise, Dad misses a mondo bird. Alright, current status, 8:06. Just texting with Ben. He's got a couple birds gobbling nearby. So Tanner and I have made a detour. We turned about, and we're heading towards him to meet up with him at a rendezvous spot. Oh my God, what a good bird, man.
2-year-old or whatever you want to call it, but I wasn't letting him go.
Oh my gosh, it's a real good bird. Yeah, heck no.
What's up, T-Money?
What's up?
So what's the story on this one?
I was back down this way, down this road a good ways, and they were gobbling back over in here. There's a big pond over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him and 4 jakes. And I just want to go all the way around, come back over here and got in that little flat that butts up to this field. And they flew down into that flat and they worked their way to me. I couldn't tell if he was a gobbler or not because there were so many of them in there.
Yeah.
Then he started fanning out and he gobbled one time. He come up 34 yards and I was like, he fanned out completely and I was like, well.
That's where he messed up.
I was like, you're dead.
Yeah.
Shot him and then the jakes went that way. And there's some people that way.
Okay.
There was a bird over that way just hammering. We need to get in the truck and drive around and go across the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
And just park right about there.
Yeah.
Then go down. There was 2 birds down there been gobbling all morning. I got committed to this one. And then when they flew down in front of me, they were 100 yards.
Yeah.
No decoys or anything, but I was just whistling at him a little bit, and they just inched his way over there. That's about it. I mean, it wasn't really like, magical or anything, but it was cool.
Short and sweet, man.
He gobbled several times though. It's fun.
Well, let's go, man.
Absolutely.
It's prime time. Let's go try to kill one of them birds. 9:45 status update. We've walked several miles and been unable to get on a bird. We did get cut off by some other hunters from where birds were heard this morning. Seen a lot of tracks,
A lot of
some dusting, but we just haven't been able to get on one since leaving Dad this morning. But it ain't over yet. Fiddlesticks.
Dang!
11-19 status. Defeated. Inbound back to Airbnb.
Yeah.
We never got on a single bird after Papa missed the one. Never heard another gobble.
But we did see a hen flying.
We flushed her like a quail.
Yeah.
I bet she was up in there nesting.
Yeah, just nesting.
Just nesting like in a hedgerow, and we kicked her out.
Yeah.
So that's it. We may try it again this evening. We just got to see how we feel. And then we'll be back in the morning, but I'll be minus T-Rex because he's got to get to flag football practice and game. All right, buddy. We gave it our best shot anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Peace. And I'm taking what happened yesterday pretty hard. My dad is unfazed, but I shoulder a lot of the blame for the miss because I sent him into battle with an untested weapon. He was using a 20 gauge with a red dot sight, and he's just not used to that gun. He never shot it before. He's used to his 12 gauge 1187. But the ammo we have for the 12 gauge, it's a few years old, and I thought, my thinking was the 20 gauge would be fine. But obviously it wasn't. I learned my lesson. And that's a lesson that a lot of us have had to learn the hard way. You don't go into battle with an untested weapon. So sorry about that, Dad. I hope we both redeem ourselves today. Unfortunately, redemption would have to wait. We had an absolute perfect spring morning to work with. Clear and cool, but there was something missing, and that was a gobbler anywhere within a half mile. You physically can't hunt harder than we did. And we never got on a single bird. But chasing a few sporadic, distant gobbles allowed us the opportunity to explore and get to appreciate the beauty and diversity of the property that we would not have experienced otherwise. From freshly burned pine uplands to flatwoods to river bottoms, this property is a gem indeed. Well, the day 2 hunt is over. A very tough hunt continues. This is something to remember, which is so true. Preference points don't mean better hunting. They don't mean there's more birds out there. It just means it's tougher to draw, and it means you have less competition. But it doesn't mean the hunting's any better. Ben and I literally walked another 5 miles this morning. We heard maybe 2 birds at 1,000 yards away, and you try to go to the bird that's 1,000 yards away, and then he quits gobbling, and then you switch to the other bird that's gobbling 1,000 yards away, and then he quits gobbling. Other than a few free gobbles, we never had a single bird answer anything that we were throwing at him. Just a brutal, tough, discouraging hunt. So far, River Creek is proving to be a tough hunt. Ain't nothing easy about it. Last day of the hunt, and man am I feeling the pressure. But I'm not leaving until a bird is down or sunset, whichever comes first. and I packed enough supplies for either outcome. And after covering a lot of miles and not hearing a single gobble, I was going to make my last stand in a field in which I saw fresh turkey sign the day before. But the bird beat me there. As I'm slipping down the hill, I catch a glimpse of a gobbler dusting and strutting for a hen in the field below me. There was nothing I could do but hit the ground and make the 100-yard crawl to the field edge. Many folks feel it's almost impossible to slip up on birds, but I actually find it fairly easy under the right conditions. As long as you stay low and hidden, you can make as much noise as you want. They don't pay it much attention. I believe they think you're a deer, an armadillo, or another turkey, species that make a lot of noise in the woods. But you know what doesn't make noise in the woods? Predators. That's what they don't like. So after pushing my way through briars and brush, I got about as close as I could get without betraying myself. I was still 50 yards out, but I knew the shotgun was capable at that range. I just had to hold steady. It all came down to this one moment. What a bird. The beard on this thing. Look at the spurs on this bird. My good Lord. Now those are some hooks. I bet you anything this is the bird that Dad missed on Saturday morning. Lone, big, mature alpha bird. And when he shot, it flew directly this way, which is only about 500 yards from where he missed this bird on Saturday morning. Oh man, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I didn't think it was going to happen. This bird never gobbled. Obviously, I was coming down to set up on this little field. I had my blind. I mean, I was coming in to soak until fly up time, and I was walking down the hill and I saw him in the field kind of dusting, and he didn't see me. I dropped my pack, I dropped everything, strapped the GoPro to my head, and made it happen. Last day, and this is one of the better birds I've ever taken. And to take one at River Creek, WMA, hunting with my dad, hunting with Ben, you know, it may be one of the most special hunts and special birds that you know I've ever taken. And I'm grateful for it, very grateful for it. But thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for this day. So I'm going to tag this bird, and then I'll actually get to head home to Gainesville and not be home at 10 o'clock tonight. And now that it's over, it's really bittersweet. You know, waiting 11 years to draw this hunt and all the anticipation. And now it's over. And I will never draw it again. I'll never apply for it again. But even if I did, it wouldn't take me 11 years to draw the hunt. I mean, it might take 20 years. I don't know. With the way point creep works, you know, how many people are in front of me when you only take 5 people a year? That point creep is a tough thing to get around. But it was a once in a lifetime hunt, and I'm glad I did it.
it was worth the wait. It's a beautiful piece of property. A lot of history here. The state purchased it about 18 years ago. It was a working plantation. I know that they even work cattle here. They flood a duck pond every year, and they'll get up to 1,500 ducks on this place. And they do offer a duck hunt. They have a phenomenal youth dove hunt, which I'm going to start applying tanner for. I hear that it takes maybe 1 or 2 years of applying to draw that, but people are coming off the field by mid-morning with a limit of doves. They manage a pond, I think it's Scott Pond, for fishing rodeos for kids. It's intensely managed for quail, and the turkey benefit, the deer benefit. Got a very healthy fox squirrel population. This type of management is just ideal for fox squirrels. It's intensively managed with fire. They just ran a burn through here within the last few days prior to the hunt. I mean, there's still logs that are still smoking. So the manager definitely puts a lot of time and effort, and the DNR puts a lot of resources into managing this place. So if you're thinking about applying for this hunt, just know that there are a lot of turkeys here. There are plenty of birds, but this place is it's a difficult hunt. I've literally walked over 15 miles and haven't even been able to get on a bird until I just got lucky with this one. I learned something else. This hunt has a quota of 5, so one would think you would have 5 individuals. But since our group was drawn 5th, they take the group. So that means there were 7 people that drew this hunt, 2 of which didn't even show up. And I know of 2 other birds that were killed. And I know of 1 other person who hasn't killed. And so that leaves 1 wild card that's an unknown. I don't know if that 4th bird was killed or not. With 5 hunters and 3 birds taken that I am aware of, that's already a 60% harvest rate, which is pretty good. That's pretty strong anywhere you go. But don't be surprised if it turns into a really tough hunt. And fully expect coming here that you might not fill your tag. So really give some thought. If you're willing to wait 12 to 15 years to draw this hunt, when you could draw hunts throughout Georgia from 0 to 3 points, where you have just a good opportunity to kill a bird. But if you want to do a once-in-a-lifetime Georgia WMA hunt, this is the one. And I was committed to seeing it through. And I was so happy that I got to experience this with my dad. We don't get to hunt much together anymore. He's really slowed down, and it's hard to watch. Because I remember as a kid, when he would take me hunting, I couldn't keep up with him. I mean, he was a savage in the woods. Powerful, strong, competent. And I looked up to my dad more than any other person on this planet. And he's the one who instilled my love for the outdoors. He's the one who thought enough of me to take time out of his schedule and take time out of his life to take me hunting and to prioritize me. Like, he thought highly enough of me to do that. And he was a great father, a wonderful dad. And I am really trying to pass those same lessons on to Tanner and show him how special he is and that he's worth my time. And I hope that, like my dad and I, that Tanner and I can have a long life together and have many hunts together, many adventures together. That's all I can hope for. So, thank you, Dad. River Creek, WMA 2023, in the books. Cut.